Hey, welcome to this Command Modern Air Naval Operations gameplay video. If you love modern battle simulations, then don't miss a minute of what's coming up. Hey, welcome. It's time to play some Command Modern Air Naval Operations, and today we're going to play the basic training air operations tutorial. That's the last of the basic training tutorials. If you're following along with the recommended tutorial checklist at the Steam link provided in the description to this video. After this, we'll be getting into submarines and more flight tutorials and air-to-air fueling, and it just looks like it's going to be exciting. But for today, we're going to do another air mission. So, just as as an aside, I should say, what we're about to do is the first scenario I ever tried right after buying the game. Before all this, well, I'm not sure. Maybe this was all available before and I didn't know about it. But when I thought this was the only tutorial, and I spent, I don't know, 10, 15, 20 minutes and then decided I'd wasted my money on the game and walked away for a very long time. It's not so bad now that I've had some experience in the other tutorials. So what do you say we load it up and get after it? Now I've actually got, well, one, I put it in the wrong place. It should be under the strike tutorial. And I've actually got two versions, but we're going to mess with this one. Carrier Air Wing 15 versus Red Forces. So the objective of this tutorial scenario is to get players familiar with conducting air operations. So we're at Naval Air Station Fallon, located a few hours north of where I sit. It's the Navy's main air-to-air and air-to-ground training facility. Carrier Air Wing squadrons come here to train together on strike tactics prior to deployment. So let's load it up and see what we got going. All right, and there we go. Sometimes I'm hoping, just as another aside, that we'll see a little bit better video performance here. I've been having a lot of jerky problems, with the game not running smoothly. So again, I went back through the Steam article listed in the link in the description and found some things to see if I could try to improve his performance. And what I found was that I actually had some corrupted files in my Cmano installation and had Steam re-download them. That seemed to help for a while, then it started acting up again. I'm not sure what we're going to see. It's kind of weird, but anyway, that's what I'm hoping. So here we go. Before we jump in, though, hey, if you haven't subscribed and you've been listening for the first 3 minutes of this and you haven't subscribed, why not? You've already invested 3 whole minutes. Hit that subscription button. Hit the bell notification so you know when I post another video. Like and share. And please leave me a comment. I enjoy that more than anything else, having these conversations with everybody. Okay, well, what we've got is, if we take a look at Naval Air Station Fallon, it's saying 39 aircraft. That doesn't make sense. Oh, ha ha ha. Looks like the last time I saved this, one aircraft had already begun taxiing to take off. Well, I'm not starting this all over again. So right off the bat, we'll start with what's going on here. We have 2 E-2C Hawkeyes, which are our airborne early warning birds, and he is preparing to take off. And if we jump into the mission editor and select that mission, you'll see the mission route. So he's going to take off and move to the northwest and fly this route looking over the whole area. We also have a bunch of F-14As, about half of which are not available. The rest of them are from VF-51 and VF-111. They are all armed with AIM-54A Phoenixes, I think 4. Yep, 4 Phoenixes, 2 Sparrows, and 2 AIM-9L Sidewinders. I've got them set in 2 combat air patrols, and they both have the same area that I expect them to operate in. And we can find that out by clicking on that, and there it is right here. This area, both those combat air patrols are heading that direction. Won't matter, believe me. We also have 2 EA-6B prowlers for electronic warfare. Here's the route that they're going to run just outside of what we understand to be the maximum range of the known air defenses at the Red Base. We have 3 patrols. Now, it's kind of interesting. I have 2 strikes and 3 patrols. The SEAD patrol, let me select him, is, how did that happen? The SEAD patrol is patrolling this area. Now, it's kind of an odd shape, and I've been playing with that. Quite honestly, I'm not sure it makes much difference. I don't know that an area this big, around here would change their behavior. There's a lot of experimenting with this. It could be that there's great documentation out there somewhere that explains it all. Maybe the manual. I have been through the manual, and I can't say that I know it. Anyway, that's the area they're going to patrol. And the way I have them set up, this is important. Now, I haven't talked about when they're launching. I'll get to that in a minute. It says active emissions inside patrol only, patrol or prosecution area, which is something I don't think I've played with yet in video. It's a prosecution area. It really doesn't matter. There's nothing else, it turns out. There's nothing else outside this area. So these settings are, I think, irrelevant, with the possible exception of the 1/3 rule. I want all these guys to go. They're all going. I've got them set the transit at 24,000 feet. That doesn't seem to work. They don't seem to ever make it. I think it's only about 100 miles. I don't think they climb that quickly. I'm not real sure. Again, it's another behavior I'm not sure of. 100 miles, they should be able to get to 24,000 feet. There's no question. I have them cruising, and then they're supposed to loiter on station. I could tell them to have their attack throttle the military. Why not? That doesn't hurt anything. And the point is that these guys are harm armed. They have AGM 45B Shrikes, which are high speed anti radiation missiles to go after. And I have changed the behavior of the mouse and scrolling, and I'm still getting used to it. Hopefully, it'll be less disruptive. Right now, what we know is here is a battalion of SA-3s, a battalion of SA-2s, and a radar installation. And there's a bunch of hardened aircraft shelters, large buildings. We'll get into that in a minute. So they're going to go there. They're going to see all those radiating weapon systems, and they're going to start shooting high-speed anti-radiation missiles at them. They also have, and this is important, again, I'm not getting into the mission building like I have before, but I'm showing you some other things. They also have, where it is, air-to-ground strafing. I've changed that from the default, which is no, or inherited no, whatever. It's inherited, but it's still something I'm trying to figure out, to yes. So they will be able to strafe, and they will also be able to use, and will use, if I can find one of them. Here we go, VA 105. They have 2 CBU 59 cluster bombs, dual purpose bomblets. So we should, assuming, well, they will. Aircraft will survive. I've lost one. I've even lost 2. But you'll see them use their guns and their cluster bombs before it's all said and done. I also have a patrol Let's zoom this out a little bit so it's easier to see. And I'm going to select this over here of A7s armed with walleyes, which are glide bombs, I believe. They may be rocket. Well, in any case, they're guided weapons. They come into this area to patrol outside again of the known maximum range of enemy air defense weapons. Um, I also have another patrol of A7s, which are going to this area that are armed with Mark 82 low drag general purpose. And so the whole point of this is, I mean, I guess maybe I should say the A6s, I have two A6 strikes. Let's look at this again, that have actual targets. This bunch of A6s are armed with a boatload of Mark 82 low drag general purpose bombs, which is to say they got a bunch of dumb bombs. You know what? I've played this enough that I think I'm going to eliminate a couple of. In fact, I probably ought to. Let's see how that works. They damage a bunch of them and destroy almost none of them. Let's cut them down to 4. Give every bomber a particular building to hit with the whole pile of Mark 82s. Let's see what they got. Mark 82s, well, they got 8 or 12, something like that. Dun, 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 dun. They got 22. All right, they got a boatload of dumb bombs. Let's see if we can smack some buildings outright. I've had problems. I mean, they wipe out the whole area, and then I have to do follow-up strikes, which, by the way, is what these other two patrols are for. I also have some A6s that are armed with glide bombs. There we go. 4 GBU-10 paveways. Those bad boys. Going after hardened aircraft shelters. Now, if you read this, it'll tell you straight up. Intended for precision bombing against non-hardened targets, but there aren't very many non-hardened targets on this base. So I've got them smacking there. And I guess an option would be to hit the industrial buildings with them. That's a lot of glide bombs to hit those. How many are there? 2? We'll zoom in again. Missile assembly. That's the one. Those 2 missile assembly buildings. It's sure whack 'em though. What the heck? Let's alter my plan. What's the fun in what's the fun? Well, let me get this right. We need to select that. We start using the mission editor again. Add all of the units that are currently selected. And we select all of them. And then we say Control, click, click, remove selected. Now, I may be screwing with a plan that's worked. I've gotten major wins out of this, and now I'm playing around with it. But again, this is meant to be an example of how to do things more than how to execute the perfect strike. Believe me, if you get into this game, at least if you have the brain power that I have, you're going to play a scenario over and over and over and over again. And most of your time is going to be spent right here playing with these things and seeing how they work. So we also have a tanker mission, which ought to show right here. Now, tanker behavior is weird. You expect them to come out here and run around this circle. What I've seen is they come out here, they kind of start running around this circle. The F-14s finish off the air opposition, start running back to refuel, and then the tanker wanders all over the place. I'm not sure I get it. And I finally got tired of fighting it. I'm hoping there's another scenario that will explore, another tutorial that'll explain tanker behavior better. So, still talking, 14 minutes in, we haven't seen anything happen, but let's talk about why I'm talking. What's the concept of the mission? We launched the CAP and the airborne early warning, and we had a big fight. There'll be a big fight in here with the aerial defenders. The electronic warfare guy hustles past all of that, get set up here to start jamming, and you'll see missiles go disappearing in here. So I assume it's working, although we don't get any direct feedback about what has actually been jammed. We have the strikes of the A6s going in. They are planned. They'll go roaring in. The patrols for the A7s are going to run over to here and stand by. And what will happen is the SEAD strike will go in, assuming that it does a good job and kills everything there. It often does. Then these guys will stand up to clean up, stand here, loitering in this patrol area, this one, to clean up after the A6s go in and see if we can run the point score up. If the SEAD mission does not completely suppress the defenses, then I will use one or more flights of probably the walleye armed A7s to go in and settle the hash of whoever didn't get smacked by the initial strike. After the A6s come and go, then we will see what kind of damage has been done, do our bomb damage assessment, and quite honestly, it'd be nice to have a recon guide or fly through it, but we'll just settle for the bomb damage assessment that we get from the strikers themselves and finish it up, and then everybody goes home. Okay, now there's more than one way to do this. I've got another scenario, another save game where you've got a patrol area here and a patrol area here, and I send all my SEAD guys, and when they're patrolling out here and they got here, then I send the SEAD in from two different directions, and blah, 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 blah. Okay, that's the beauty of the game. If there's anything that's kind of cool about this, is there's all kinds of ways to approach this problem. Anyway, I have been talking far too much. I probably haven't covered everything I wanted to cover. Oh yeah, I'm right. You can see these guys are, as best I can tell, that's delayed. So the mission starts at, well, gosh, almost 2 minutes have gone by already since I saved it in odd space. But the mission is supposed to start right at 1700. He launched immediately. In his case, he's already launched. These guys launch at 1702. These guys launch at 1703. The EW launches at 1706. The patrols will wait a little while. 1719, 1715, 1717. Giving them a couple of minutes between launches to get out of the way. The strikes go in at 1722, 1725. The tanker goes up in the middle of it at 1717. There is some interesting behavior I've noticed. One, if you launch the cap and allow them, they have a certain behavior type under mission doctrine. Weapon state RTB. So if this stays at its default, which is inherited, yes, return to base with less aircraft and a flight reaches weapon state, which means they're out of weapon. They will all start hustling home right when all these other guys are trying to get off the ground, and it gets to be a mess, okay? Because the active runways get full of landing F-14s, and you'll just completely screw up your strike. So I basically said, hey guys, just because you're out of missiles doesn't mean I don't want you out here on patrol, and it's an entirely practical thing for this scenario. In a more complex scenario, I might have to send them back, and I'd have to work them in somehow into the rest of this plan. One thing this game does not have is a real mission planner. It has a mission editor. What it really needs is a gigantic spreadsheet that lets me say, hey, I want these guys arriving on target at this time, and let me play with the other inputs to get that right. And expect these guys home at this time, and leaving, be able to see my airbase schedule, when people are expected to leave, when people are expected to arrive, when, the whole bit. It's not in here. I guess you could build a spreadsheet to do it. Oh, I don't know. Okay, 19 minutes. We haven't done a damn thing. Let's watch this play. All right, we're going to speed it up a little bit and get some guys in the air. And off we go. Okay, well, I just paused the game. MiG-21s. I think there are 4 MiG-21s, 4 MiG-23s. Let's slow this down a little bit so we can have something fun to watch. This is almost certainly a boatload. Yeah, it looks like 8 Phoenixes. And you can see the Phoenixes have their own active radar for terminal homing. That's pretty cool. Ooh, well, that was unusually good. We got 3 MiG-21s, but you note that the MiG-23s actually avoided most of the problems. I wonder if we can find out why. MiG-21, MiG-21, MiG-21. Wow, we're rolling a 99 is tough. MiG-23G with a base probability of 80, distance 63%, agility 3, adjusted for agility or altitude, agility adjusted for proficiency, weight fraction, which must be how much fuel's on board. So that adjusted the agility to 1.72. Okay. Agility adjusted for rear oblique impact effect, 1.5 final agility modifier, 15 final probability of hit, 48, and we rolled really bad. These other guys just overshot their targets, so did this one. So without going into it too deeply, they aren't magic bullets, but there's more coming. I say they aren't magic bullets. I haven't done this yet. Let's see something. Yeah, but we're launching them for 40 miles, 45 miles. Yeah, they're long range if nothing else. And somebody else just got off the ground. There's a gotcha. And a gotcha. Uh-oh, somebody has gotten a weapon off against us. I don't see it. It's in here somewhere. Oh, there it is right there. We don't have it ID. It's Missile 67. All right, zoom back out. Select something else so it doesn't act stupid. There we go. And we got one MiG-23. These guys are harder to kill than you might imagine, but they get killed. Wow, that's irritating. And we got missiles incoming. And it looks like they were jammed or they were, All right, we're down the Sparrows now. And another is a MiG-21 and a MiG-23. Oh, boy, he's evading well. Look at him dodge. Sparrows, and a Phoenix. Gotcha. Miss. And he's trying to run away, but he's just going to be tired. Okay, so there's the air combat. Looks like what we heard was the EA-6 launching. It is now 1712. We ought to be seeing, in just a few minutes, the patrols launching and a tanker. So let's speed things up. All right, the jammer is on station. And I want to change. This is really important. Switch to group view. You can do that by numpad 9. It's a lot easier to control these formations if you can only select the flight lead. In this case, flight Razor 31. You can see his targeting vectors. Now, we've had a lot of things happen, and sure as heck, there's another active air defense unit down here that was not obvious before the scenario began. And there he is. Somewhere in this area of uncertainty is a battalion of SAM 6s, SA 6s. So every one of those birds now has a target. Let's go ahead and let them run in at high speed, and then we'll slow down for the fun. Okay, stop. They've lit up their radars. The other patrols are heading for their patrol areas, and now we get to see the SEAD strike go in. Now, I've lost one, I've even lost two birds. This is a dangerous mission. The AI has made the decision to come in at 5,000 feet. All right, that's a launch of harms. Looks like everybody's got their harms off and running. Now we're going to slow down a little bit because these guys are going to start shooting back, and I want to be able to see it. And it's going to go whoop, whoop, whoop a bunch. So here we go. All right, they are pouring. What, there's at least 4 in the air. Actually shot down a high-speed anti-radiation missile. That guy's in there somewhere, huh? And here we go. All right, we had SAMs that have not impacted our guys coming in, but they're probably going to have more launch before it's all said and done. Well, they got one there. Okay, looks like we got the SA-3 battery with one hit. And we got the radar. This guy, it looks like he has killed everything that's in. No, there's still more anti-radiation missiles coming in. We might get the SA-2 after all. We have 3 SA harms that look like they will hit, or at least have a chance to hit, the SA-6s. There's a hit. Looks like we got at least one hit there. Still SAM's flying. Oh boy, that was not good. We missed a bunch. Although he seems, that's not bomb damage, that's the impact point of that harm. Okay, well now it's up to the A7s. Thank goodness for the jammer out here. Yeah, this is bad news stuff here. I'm reluctant. Wow, I'm reluctant to send in a follow-up strike just yet because we haven't seen what these guys do. Let's speed this up. Boy, they are dodging. They are dodging Sam something fierce. Get him. Thump! And that, my guys, my buddies, my friends, old pals, was strafing. Okay, you can see the weapons are in the air. This is very cool. All right, looks like, let's see if this guy gets him, because this guy is looking far too healthy. Thump. Ah ha ha! Ladies and gentlemen, that was a successful SEAD strike. All right, now, since there are no further suppression of air defense is needed, we will not be sending these guys in to work them over. We're going to wait for the A6s to do their thing, which are inbound. Right, so here we go. Now we're going to change out of that group we're going to go back to unit view so we can see all the individual targets. And we're going to speed things up and let guys get in there. Okay. Looks like we've got another bird taking off, take over patrol. What do we have here coming in? This is here comes the strike with all the dumb bombs on the industrial sites. Too much, too much. There we go. Now it's kind of interesting behavior. They pass over, or at least I've seen it this way before. They're boogieing at 560 knots on those old birds. All right, they've passed over and they said, yep, that's the target. Bring it around, bring it around, bring it around. Watch them drop as they crank those suckers around. And bombs away. Thump. How well did we do? Oh, it doesn't look good. My enthusiasm is low, or they blew heck out of a bunch of buildings that I can't see. They may have. Wow, actually they did pretty awesome. Look at all the bomb impacts. This is old school. This guy's way out here. Old school. That's just, some parts of this game just enthuse me no end. We can find out. We can come in here to losses and expenditures. Say we've lost nothing. We've used a bunch. 4 bursts of 100 rounds of 20 millimeter. Da 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 da. Killed 5 buildings. So it turns out it was wise to concentrate those guys down to 4 instead of trying to hit 8, because I don't think I've gotten 5 buildings with 1 hit before. So there's a learning point. All right, let those guys get out. Let's speed things up. All right, here comes the guys with the glide bomb units. Now we're going to watch them very carefully because they may knock off these buildings without using all their glide bombs, in which case we're going to micro our way to more happiness, more score. Here they come. Now they'll do the same thing. If I remember correctly, they will kind of pass over, eyeball. They're at 13,000 feet since they need this, they need some room to get those weapons away, get them gliding, or get them guiding. We ought to see them starting to laze any second now. They already are, I think. Yeah, barely can see it, but you see the little orange line? I think. Maybe not. Do I have map settings? Targeting vectors. Like the units. Illumination vectors. Okay, I'll illuminate. So they aren't illuminating yet. Here it'll be any second now. And you got to get that weapon. Got to get it in parameters for a launch. They've climbed. Coming around. Speed 300 knots and change. There we go. Now they're illuminating. Weapons are away. Hold your breath. You know what? That looks like 2 dead buildings. We can take a look. Yep, we went from 5 to 7 buildings. Okay, these guys should have. Let's go back to unit. Wow, they still have 12 glide bomb units. So we just went into the micro. We can even take a look, by the way. We can even see what your current score is. Right now it's 1100, and we haven't even brought in these guys, which honestly they're overdue. But this is more demonstration than anything else. So we're going to pay attention to micro here. Now to start commanding these guys to do something outside of their mission, We have to select the group, and there's our mission. We have to hit U to unassign them. So status is now unassigned. We should now be able to Shift F1, click on the industrial site, which has 3 large buildings. Nice. So we want to assign 1 glide bomb unit to each industrial site. See if we can finish up the job that the A6s with dumb bombs did. Now I think I got it working. Let's see if they actually start behaving like that. Yep, there they go. They've got their targeting. They're going to position themselves to make that work. Could be that some of these guys, I don't know, they've got targets. This is the AI figuring out the best way to get it done. And there comes one. You see the lasers. There's another. And I think we're down to 1 building. So, once again, Shift F1. That guy's got 1 weapon. That guy's got 3 weapons. That guy's got 1. That guy's got 4 weapons. Let us assign 1. And here we go. Now I actually am playing this a lot more detail than I ever have before. This is how we maximize the score. All right, he should be dropping his. I don't know why these guys are leaving the area, but we can pull them back in. There goes a weapon. And splash. All right, assign base, Oh, now you know what I need to do. I need to get off of and get back to the group view. And now let's see what else we have. They got plenty of fuel. Plenty of fuel. Should be no issues. Red airbase, strafe target, bullseye target. Let's shift F1. Red airbase, which gives us a choice of a lot of targets. Hardened shelters, those are tough to hurt. Those are really tough to hurt. Runway access points, same thing, need penetrators. Let's hit the avgas bunkers. Selectable targets. Targets out of range. Yeah, I can live with that. You'll go back and get them. 1, 2, 5, 8. Great. We'll give them 2 each. He's already got his assigned. Assign the second one there. Assign 2 there. And assign 2 there. Probably will not get them. They're really tough targets. You guys gonna come back? You've got your targeting. Come on back. There we go. Let's speed things up so we don't have to wait quite so long. And we can also go back to unit view, pause for a moment, get ourselves squared away. Here are the avgas bunkers. See how they do. Ooh, that's pretty good damage. Okay. Back to flight view. Select airbase, shift F1. Okay, select the airbase, shift F1. And how many weapons do we have left? Another way to do this, we only got 4 weapons. Wow. Another way to do this would be to select them. They're selected. Go to unit view and then do automatic targeting, which would be F1 there, F1 there. And let's see how that works out. And here they come. Oh, more coming. All right, now let's get back out and look at our... Do we have any weapons left? Nope, no weapons. Status, return to base, outstanding. All right, let's jump down in here. Get a look. These guys are beat up, but they're not dead. They won't show in losses and expenditures because they're not destroyed. But you know what? We aren't done yet. We are not done yet. All right, get back out. We got these guys on patrol. Those are low drag. We got 4 AGMs. Okay, we take them off their mission. Hit U to unassign. Hit Shift F1, select the red airbase. We can even do this now. And control, control, control. Remove selected targets. And tell them we want... Oh, let's not be shy. Let's give 2 to that one. And 2 to that one. And that ought to finish them up. That's all they've got. And we can find the other walleye armed guy. We unassign him. Shift F1 red airbase. Select everything. Control. Remove selected targets. And then have these guys assign 1 each. And let's let this thing rock. That ought to work unless I've made a mistake. In fact, I can find out by pausing. That's right, I'm still in group, so he's on his way. He's not. Yep, he is. We're looking good. Let's go. And speed it up just a little bit. All right, we ought to have weapons in the air very shortly. Yep. There they are. They're guiding them in. Pause. Ungroup. Let's see what happens. Miss. Lots of misses. Ah, that didn't help much, did it? All right, we ought to have somebody that has a few of them left. Group. Yes, they do. Shift F1. Deselect. Pick one of them. Remove. Allocate all weapons. Yeah, I think I got it. All right. And while we're at it, I don't think this will be very effective, but it'll be fun. Unassign the A7s with a pile of dumb bombs. Shift F1, red airbase. And deselect the avgas bunkers. And I wonder if I can do this. Select all. No. Okay. Yeah, a better way to do this would actually be this guy is selected. Let's zoom in. Let's ungroup. That guy is selected. 72 Mark 82s. I'd give him F1, F1, F1. There we go. That ought to get it done. Well, that ought to get an attack in. Whether or not it'll be effective is another question. Group. This guy's going in. Weapons are away. Ugh. Tough targets. All right. Group again. They're on their way in. Speed things up. All right. And then let's zoom in. Ungroup. Watch the fun. There's the weapons are away. We'll see how accurate these guys are. Chances of them doing real damage, I think, are low. But what the heck? Oh my God, they were everywhere. Yeah, that didn't work too well. All right, well, here we are. We're 46 minutes in, and effectively this scenario is over. We've got nobody with weapons left. There ought to be a bunch of people home. And, well, there's a bunch of people RTBing. There's still 2 hours and 57 minutes to go. What I don't know, and I hadn't thought about too much, is whether or not, that's not what I needed to do, whether or not I can get a turnaround out of these guys. Yeah, in 5 hours. 5 hours. These guys are landing. Let me let them land. They're available. So there's no turnaround. This is done. Given that, we could play cleanup and do stuff like this and tell everybody, you know, RTB. Hit B, RTB. Everybody goes home. Except guys who are on missions and they come back. And there it is, jerking. Jerky progress again. I don't understand that. Doesn't matter. Let's find out. It does matter. Eventually got to figure this center thing out, but that's not what we're here for. Let's take a look at losses. We lost nothing. We killed 10 buildings, 8 MiGs, a radar, 6 SA-2s, 4 SA-3s, 3 SA-6, no, 4 SA-6s. Turns out there was a mixed battery, A's and B's. 6 SA-7s and a bunch of vehicles involved in those SAM sites. They used 3 AA-7s that were the MiG-23s, 16 SA-3s, 8 10 SA-6s, and 4 SA-7s. They didn't do anything. How did we score with all this micro? Wrong menu. Minor victory. Like I said, I've had better luck. Would have been nice to kill off that those avgas bunkers, but we didn't get them. The point really is, do you understand? Are you getting a better understanding of how you can play this? Again, I have another scenario or another save game for the same scenario where I group up my strike birds and everybody in 2 marshal areas on each side and then just start sending them in with very detailed instructions, very detailed targeting. Play it the way you like. Play on, and that's just you know, that's the beauty of the game. If it makes you work for it, but it's very cool. Okay, well, that's enough. I think I've gone babbling far long enough. I appreciate you watching, and I hope I see you again soon. Hey, thanks for watching. If you click on that picture of very young Waz, you'll be subscribed so you'll never miss another video. Then click on that bell notification button and please share and comment. See you again soon.